So, so this is where we left yesterday. So we have created a beautiful app bar with some text. We have created this card with some background, with some headings, an input box with a plus button, plus icon to add, with some list, and with the delete icon. Okay. So I have made some changes as well. Like we haven't added the white color in this text and the delete button. So I've made it easy for you guys. So I'll push the code. I'll share the code with you so that you will get how we did it. So I did it by using with styles. I've created a class, added a CSS over there, and added the class in my particular component. So it's pretty much easy. Okay. So for today, what we'll be doing is that we'll be writing the functionality to add things in this list. So whatever, let's say you add milk here. If you click on milk, then it should get added over here. And if you click on delete button, this button, so it should be deleted. Okay. Also, what we can do is that we can add some count, something like that over here. So something like that over here. So let's say if we have one element in our list, so the count should be shown here. So we will do it one by one. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, let me know if you guys are able to see my screen.
Yeah, it will.
Yes, code is visible to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what we'll do now today is that let's first write the functionality to take the input from this particular input and save it in our state. Okay, so for that what we need to do first is that we need to add a constructor over here. So let me write our const. So we got our constructor, we got our initial state. So let's take a initial state of input value and give it a value of like blank string. Okay, now what we need to do is that as this is an input, we have an event called on change. So we just need to write that event and handle it. So let's find out our events. So this is our input. What we need to do is that we just need to write on change, and we need to uh, add a function. So let's say handle input change. So a best practice to write is that you should always use camel case. Camel case is widely used in your almost everywhere. So this is the camel case I have told you before as well. So uh, make sure that you always write your code, always declare your variables in camel case. And if you are declaring your constant, so it should be in the capital. Okay. And let's give it a value as well. So our value will be this dot state dot the state we took, which is input value, so that it is visible in our input as soon as we write. So let's write the functionality to handle it. So it will give me an event. Okay. Now what I'll do is that let's just console log event dot target dot value first. So mm, if I open my console, go to info and type something, let's say Devesh. So I'm getting Devesh over here, which is working fine. I'm getting Devesh. So let's do why it is not hiding. Okay, okay, great. So let's set the state. Let's set this value which we are getting from the input to the state. So to set it into the state, what we need to do is that we need to write this dot set state method, and we need to pass the input value, and what we have to take as a value is the event dot target dot value. Let's save it and have a look that if we are getting, and let's print the state as well. So let me print the state as well. Console.log this dot state dot input value. Okay, so if I console log milk, so I'm getting milk here, as you can see. Okay, so our input is working just fine. And if you see that what I did here is that I used have given a second parameter to this set state method. So this is the first parameter which I gave, and this is the second parameter which is a callback function. So why I did so is that if you call the set state method, it takes some time to reflect, to make changes in your state. So by giving the second parameter the callback, what it will do is that it will only be called once the state is updated fully. So once this state is updated, then only it will call, and then only will get console.log. It must happen sometimes that if you write set state and just after that if you write console log, you will get undefined, because the set state is working behind the scenes and it doesn't updated the value. So I have written the second parameter for this. Okay. uh okay, let's remove this. So it should be working just fine. Yeah, it's working fine. We are getting everything. Let's remove the console log from here. So we have successfully handled our on change event. Now let's do one more thing. Let's write the functionality for this particular add button. So for that, what we need to do is that we need to take another state which is an array. So uh, every time what we need to do is that every time we add something, it should be pushed inside an array. Okay, and what we'll do is that we will loop through that array and we'll render all our items over here. So let's have a look how we can do it. So let's take an array called let's say items. Okay, and it is a blank array. Okay, now what we need to do is that we need to write the functionality in this add icon. Okay, so we have already written on click. So let's just remove this and give it a function name called add item. Okay, now let's write the functionality of add items. Add item, and what it will do is that it will first check that if this dot state dot input value is not equals to blank. If it is not blank, then only it will set the state, otherwise it won't set the state. Okay, it won't do the functionality. We'll add the validations. So for adding the validation, we have added this check. Okay, so if we have the value inside a state, so what we have to do is that we have to take so let items equals to this dot state dot items. So I have taken my state array into a local variable. What I need to do is that, so I need to push. So we have a method called push, which adds new index into the array. So I'll push and I'll push an object. So my object will include the name. Okay, the name of my to-do list, what I have to do. So to add the name, what I'll do is that I'll just add this dot state dot input value, since we have the value, right? And we'll also be needing something which will be uniquely which we can uniquely define. So name can be multiple, name cannot be unique. So let's say I can have butter at first place, I can have butter at the 10th place as well, so they cannot be unique. So for uniqueness, what we can use is that we can assign an id. Okay, we can assign a unique id, so that every time we add the value, I will get a unique id. So to create a unique id, we have a package called uuid. You can search it on npm. So this is you when you call this package, when you call this method, it will give you a unique ID every time. Okay, so let's just install it once. So npm I uuid. Okay, it's installing. Meanwhile, if anyone have any questions till yet, you can ask in the chat. Okay, it is installed. So let's see how can we use it. So if you see the documentation here, we need to import it like this. So let's copy it. Let's import it somewhere here. Okay, and we have to use v4 as uuid. So we have to use uuid v4. So what we can do is that we can add a key called id, and we just need to write uuid v4. That's it. So every time you push a new item, it will give you a unique ID. Okay. Now let's set the state. This dot set state items. Okay. Now let's console log it as well so that we can see if it is working fine. This dot state dot items. Hmm. Okay. So if I click on milk, so if I add, nothing happens because input values not blank. It should work. Okay, let me check what is happening. Input value not blank. Console log this dot state dot items. Add item, is it called? Yeah, it's called, I guess. Okay. Oh, we really sorry, I guess. Yeah, we are good to go, I guess. Let's add milk. Yeah. So we are getting milk. Yeah, we got our array on. So on 0th index, we have a unique ID and we have a name called milk. Let's add some other stuff. Let's say butter. So we should get two elements in our array. First is milk with a unique ID and second is butter. So yeah, we are getting two items in our array, which is first is the milk on the 0th index, and on the first index we have butter with its own unique ID, and both the IDs are different from each other, right? So our functionality is working fine. So after that, what we need to do is that whatever we write here, we need to show it here. So as soon as we add, click on this plus button, it should be visible in our list. So how can we do that? So for doing it, what we need to do is that as we have our list is another component. So what we can do is that we can pass our items array as a prop, and we can do something with it in our another component which is called list items. So let's first pass it as a prop. So let's take the name as items, and let's give it this dot state dot items. So this is the name of the prop and this is the value. So our state, we are passing our state to list items. Now let's go to list items and let's console log the state first. Okay. Console dot log this dot props. So yeah, so if we have console logged in our list items and we are getting items as an array and it is a blank since we haven't added anything. So let's add butter. Okay, so if we add butter, we get items butter as a prop here. So now what we need to do, we have got our data from one component to another using props. So now we have a concept called looping. So we can loop, we can iterate our array. And for iterating our array, what we need to use is that we can use a map function. So let's take map function in JavaScript. Let's read about the map function. So the map function methods creates a new array with the results of calling a function for every array element. So if you want to loop, so in the layman terms, what you need to understand is that when you map through an array, it will loop through your array and it will give each and every index every time. Okay. So let's loop it. So we have to remove our code. So let's remove our first list item. Let's remove our second list item, and we are left with only one list item. Yeah. So let's add. So what we need to do is that we have a single list and we need to map our data inside this list. So what we can do is that let's first destructure our props. So we have items. So items. So the syntax to map is items dot map. It will take a temporary variable called data, and it will return JSX. Okay, so let's copy paste our list item here. Okay, and inside this primary, so we need to show our what we are adding, the name which we are adding, right? So to add that, what we need to do is that since it's JSX, so as I told you that if you use map function, you will get every element of array in this particular data every time it iterates. So what we need to write is data dot the name of our key, which is name. Okay, so if I save it, I think nothing will happen right now. Oh, something happened. Okay, let's refresh it and see. So we don't have anything right now. So let's add something which is called butter. Okay, and if I click on it, I should get butter in my list. So as soon as I click, so I'm getting butter, which is like really good. So if I click, if I add milk, so I'm getting milk. Really nice. Let's say chocolate. So if I add chocolate, I'm getting buttermilk chocolate, with our code is working just fine. Now, one more thing, what we can do is that as soon as I add as soon as I add, this should get removed. The previous value should get removed and it should be blank. Okay. So for that, what we can do is that we can go to add items. We can go to our function, which is add item, and when while setting the items, what we can do is that we can make input value as blank. Okay, so since we have input value, it is showing here, but we have made it blank as after we add the item, so there is no value to it. So let's add let's say paper. Okay, so yeah, working just fine. Let's add pen, working really good. Okay, any questions till yet? Okay, okay. So till now what we have done is that we have handled our on change event, we have taken the input, we have handled our on click event. So we are adding what we are writing to an array, and we are showing it on our another component using props and using the map function. Okay, now one more thing which I need to show you is that every time, let's say you want to see what is there in your state. Okay, what is the actual value which is present in your state at this particular time. So we have a Chrome extension called React Developer Tools, React Dev Tools. So if you inspect and if I see, I can get, I am getting this components. If I see this components, I am getting all my components here in a tree structure in a parent child. So app is the parent of everyone. Then we have nav, which is some other component. We have app bar, as you can see. Then we have add item. So this is, and our add item is getting highlighted over here as soon as we hover over it. So if I click on that at the right corner, we can see the list of props. So props, we have classes props, we have root, and we have state. So we took two state, one is input value and one is items. So we have two items in our state. One is paper and one is pen. So you can see whatever is there in your state at that particular time in any of your component. Okay. So if I add one more thing, it will get added quickly here. So let's add butter once again. So if I click, so yeah, as you can see, we had two items, now we had three, and butter is added over here. So this is how you can, you know, this is how you can verify all your state and props. You can rectify your code. You can see where there are any issues, if there are any issues. And if I scroll somewhere down, let's say in my list items, so I can see the props. So I'm passing items props, and it is an array of objects. So we have three objects inside it. So it is working fine. Okay. Okay. So now let's see what else we can do. Okay. So let's add the functionality to show the count. If we have, let's say we have three elements in our list. So the count should be three, should be shown three. And if we don't have any of the element, so it should not be shown. So let's add that. So for that, what we need to do is that we need to go to add items. Okay. uh, To-do list, we have this typography, and before this typography, what we need to do is that we need to add a condition using ternary operator. So what will be the condition? The condition will be this dot state dot items dot length. So what it will do is that since our items is an array, so we can get the length of it using dot length method. So if the length of our items is not equals to 0, if it's greater than 0, then what we can do is that we can show something like this. I'll tell you what I'm doing. Let me first write it. So this dot state dot items dot length. Okay. Otherwise, nothing. Okay. So I guess it will work. Let's see what we did there. So right now I can see nothing over here. Let's add milk, and I should see one here. Yeah, so I'm getting one. Let's add butter. I'm getting two. Let's add paper. I'm getting three count. Yeah, so it is working just fine. So any questions still yet? Class name equals to classes dot root is predefined. Okay. Uh, Class name equals to classes dot root. Okay, so yesterday I told you how can we style our components, how can we style material UI components. So I have added a class, I have written a class here root, and I've used a with styles higher order component, and it provides me the class as a prop. So I have destructured it over here, and I can also write this dot props dot classes, but I have destructured it, and I am using classes dot root, which I have defined somewhere here. Okay. Okay, so our Our count is also working fine. Our input is also working fine. Now what is remaining is that let's add the functionality to delete it. Okay, so to delete, okay, so to delete, what we need to do is that our delete button exists in our another component which is called list item. Here is our delete button, and our main state is exist in our another component which is called add item. Okay, so we need to write something like that, something which will perform like when we click here in this component, when we click on this button, it should perform some action on the another component. So how can we do that? So for doing it, what we need to do is that we can pass our function as a prop. So we can pass anything as a prop. We can pass string, numbers, we can pass our state, and we can pass the function as well. So let's see how can we do that. So first, let's add a function. So let's say delete item, and it will take a parameter called let's say ID, because ID is unique. And let's console log ID. Just write the console log. Okay. Now we have written our function. Now how can we send this as a prop? So down here in the list items, what we can do is that we can write another prop which is called delete item. Okay, and same as we pass the state, we can pass the function. So uh, we have to write this dot delete item. Okay, this is how you pass everything. This is how, this is the name of your problem, this is the value. So we have passed a function. So let's handle this function here. So what we can do is that let's delete item. Let's restructure it, and in this icon button, let's add an on click event and add delete item and call it and pass some random ID which is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So okay, we need to do one more thing. Yeah, okay, so so now what we have done here is that we have created a function. Okay, we have created a function in our add item component, and we have passed that function as a prop to our child component which is called list items, like this. And here we have called that function delete item on our icon button, delete icon button. Okay, now I have hard coded this value for now, so let's see if it is working or not. So let's, let me clear this, clear butter. If I add it, my list is working just fine. Now let's click on this. So we should get the ID, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So if I click, I am getting 1 2 3 4 5 6 in add item, and we are clicking this in our another component which is called list item. So this is how props work. This is how you can manage to pass data from one component to another. So I hope you guys got the understanding of what how can we pass props, how can we pass functions as a prop. So now let's write the delete functionality. So to delete, what we need to do is that we need a unique thing, so that we can filter out some we can filter out that particular ID or name from our list of arrays from our list. So we have a unique thing which is called ID. So what we can do is that we can pass data.id from here. Okay, and now if we click on our list, we should get that unique ID. So if I add milk, I should get a unique ID. Yeah, I am getting that unique ID every time. So if I click once again, I'm getting that ID only. Yeah. So now what we need to write in this particular function is that we can use the JavaScript has a predefined function called filter. So what filter function does is that it filters out your array based on the condition. Okay. So how can we write that? So to use the filter function, what we need to do is that let's just take our state into a local variable. So this dot state dot items. Okay. Now what we need to do is that we need to write this dot set state, and our key is items, and now we have to filter out the ID based on the ID. So what we can do is that items dot items, this items is the key in our state, and the value is our local variable which we took here. So items dot filter, we take data. Okay, and we filter out data dot id is not equals to id. Okay, so what I did here is that I took my state into a local variable, then I performed the set state method. I am setting the state items, and what I am assigning the value here is that I am filtering out my items data. So this is the condition which I have written. So what this condition will do is that it will check if the ID which is present inside my items array and the ID which is coming from where I delete, if it's not equal, then only then it will add the data. Otherwise, it won't add the data. Okay, so let's first check it. Okay, so if I say milk, let's add through 2 3 items. One butter, paper. So if I click on paper, my paper should get deleted and milk and butter should remain. So let's click on paper and it is working fine. See, our count is also updating as soon as we delete. So so if I delete butter, so our count is getting updated. If I delete milk, so our count is hidden. So yeah, so everything is working fine. Let's add some more items to it. So let me say pen, paper, uh, veggies, eggs. So we have different items. So let's add the same name item twice. So we have pen and pen. So if I remove this pen remains the same. So this is how like you have to work using the IDs. So our IDs are unique. That's why one pen gets removed, another one remains. So okay, so what else we need to do? Okay, before that, let me go to here and so the day 7 code is here. You can take the screenshot, you can write it somewhere.
Devesh sir, I think you are muted.
Oh, I'm really sorry, really sorry. Thank you so much. Uh, so, uh, if you guys have any questions, you can ask. Okay, so I think most of you guys have got the idea about how to work in React, how to set up the project, how to start, how to handle the events. So we have handled on-change events, we have handled the on-click events, we have worked on the map, we have worked on the arrays, we have looped through the arrays using map function, and one more thing which is like the really important thing is that whenever you map through any array, there is a thing called key, so which we need to add every time we loop through it. So what is the use of this key? So this is an assignment for you guys, so you need to identify what is the use of this key when we map through something in an array. So otherwise, me or Adin will tell you tomorrow. So this is an assignment, so you guys can figure it out. Okay. And so we have added all the functionalities. Okay, one more thing which is left is the local storage. So we have something called local storage. So what is a local storage? Local storage is the browser storage. We have state as our component storage, and we have local storage as our browser storage. Okay, so you can store
Sir, I had
any
a
type.
doubt.
Sorry.
I had a doubt. Would it be
Ye-
fine if I ask?
Yes, please ask.
I mean, it was regarding local storage only. So, I mean, you mentioned that it was browser limited, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, is there a way that we can access the local storage of one browser across browsers?
Mm,
Like, suppose I make an app and
mhm,
the contents of it are stored in Chrome, and then I suppose I open some other browser. So, would it be
mhm,
possible for me to get it from there
mhm.
also?
Uh, like to my knowledge, I don't think you can access the one browser's data to another browser. Adin, do you
Oh,
have any
Yeah,
knowledge?
so you cannot do that. In fact, even in the same browser, you cannot really access the local storage data of a different website.
okay. No, I'm talking
And
about the same website only, but
yeah,
yeah.
even if it's the same website, so local storage is the storage within a browser and it's
Mm.
mapped to a specific web app. So each website maintains its own local storage in the browser. And any modern browser will definitely prevent you from accessing the local storage of a different browser. This data is not stored in the file system, so you cannot like access
Mhm.
it from a
So
different
then
browser.
if I'm making an app and I do not want to use a database, or let's say I haven't learned a database as yet, then I
Mhm.
mean, is there any alternative for
Okay,
me to
so
be,
in that case, like if it's all in the front end, if it's all client side,
yeah, fully
then
React?
in that case, there's no other way. Like you
Okay,
have
thank
like
you.
the user has to use it in the
Same
same
browser.
browser. Yeah,
Okay,
and even if he's using in the same browser, it has to be the same profile.
same site.
Like
Yeah.
it cannot be an incognito mode or he cannot be signed in as a different user.
Okay. So I mean, are there alternatives to, I mean, local storage? I've heard of IndexedDB storage or something like that, but I don't know what that is. So,
See, so like there may be some alternatives, and even if you do have local storage,
hmm.
try to avoid using local storage as well and try to avoid any client-side alternatives because there are multiple issues related to the security of the data that you're adding, the integrity of the data. It's
Okay.
always preferable to create your
Run
own
a
server,
database.
yeah, create your
Hmm.
own database. And
Okay.
like if you do not currently have backend experience, you can
Hmm.
use something similar to
Firebase.
Firebase. And
Okay.
if Firebase is a bit too costly for you, then you can try things like Superbase or there are some other free alternatives as well.
Okay, then thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Adin. So I guess most of you have got a knowledge about what is local storage. So let me tell you where you can see what is there in your local storage. So in your developer console, you have this application tab, and inside this application tab under the storage, you can see local storage. And as I'm in localhost 3000, so it will only show me the storage for this particular domain. So right now we don't have anything. So let's say we want to add something in our local storage, right? So let's say we need to add our name and add what we can say and our array in our local storage. So how we can do is that inside our add item we can add another line called local storage. Yes, local storage dot set item. And it takes two parameters. First is the name of your key. So let's say items, and second is the items, which is this dot state dot items. So if I save it, right now we don't have anything. Let's say we add milk, and if we add, so we got something. We got object. So we have our array, and so if you want to be specific, so let's say if you want to add the name of your what you have written here. So what we can do is that we can write item name, and we can write input value, and we need to add this before because we are changing the value over here. So right now let's delete it. Let's add milk, and yeah, we got our item name as milk. And to access this, what we can do is that we can write we can console dot log local storage dot get item, and we need to pass the key. So our key is item name. And if I save it, so I should get milk. Yeah, so I'm getting milk from my local storage. So this is how you can set and get the keys from your local storage. Okay, so I guess we have covered almost everything in our to-do app. So let's recap what we have done today. So we started with writing the functionality for our input. So we have used an onChange handler, and we have saved our value in our state, and we have written the click functionality, the add functionality to it. And we have also written the count functionality, so it will provide us the count. We have also used the map function to map our array and list everything which is inside our array. And we also have done the delete functionality. So if we delete, everything is gone. Like that specific element will be gone. You can extend this app. You can do, like, you can add some other stuff as well, like you can add the update as well. You can you can create a button delete all, and you can click on it, so everything gets deleted. It's up to you what you can do. So I'm leaving it to you, so that you guys can add some more stuff in this project. So yeah, this is all about to do app. And so Adin can tell you what to do next. So Adin.
Yeah. So before we do that, we have a question in the chat. What is the expiry time for local storage, and will it be available after we close the browser?
Okay. Yeah. Please say.
You go ahead, please.
Okay. So as per my knowledge, let me correct. Please correct me if I'm wrong. So we don't have any expiry time in our local storage, right? It will be
Yeah,
stored.
it won't
It will be
expire.
stored forever, I guess, once you store it. And what was the next question?
Will it be available after we close the browser?
Yes, if you close the browser, let's say I close the browser, local storage, it should be available. Yeah, it is available.
Right.
If you close the tab, if you close the browser, it is available. Your local storage is always available. If you manually go and delete it, then only it will be not be available. Otherwise, it will be available. Yeah.
Yeah. So also, if you clear your cache, or if you reset your preferences, reinstall your browser, in those cases, it will be reset.
Mhm.
Okay. So the next steps for all the participants are to start with the to-do application. Try to replicate what we have done right now. Try to create your own to-do application by using the similar concepts. You do not need to use the same component library. You can style the components on your own. And your to-do application for now should provide the functionalities of creating a new entry, showing the total count of it, and you should be able to delete the entries. Optionally, if you want, try to implement the functionality to update an existing entry. If you're trying to do that, a hint that I would like to give you um, is to make use of the same filter function that we use for delete and update the value. Yeah, that's the hint. So this is all for now. And once you have done this, you will be getting another assignment soon. But for now, you need to re-implement the to-do application with these functionalities.
Okay, so we are here for another few minutes, and anyone is facing any doubt, so you can definitely unmute yourself, or else you can write in the chat.
If some of you have already created the to-do application, that's great. You can try to create other modifications of it. So maybe try to create a notes app. It will be different from the to-do app in the sense that a note can have a title, it can have a body, it can have a separate section for tags, and you can try to experiment with it if you've already done the to-do. Yeah, so I'll explain the assignment once again. Currently, you need to create a to-do application, which should at least allow you to create new entries in your to-do. It should allow you to delete the existing entries, and it should show the count of the to-do. Optionally, if you want, you can add the functionality to update an existing to-do, to edit the text of it. And yeah, one more thing that you can try to do is to add a check mark to each to-do item so that whenever you have completed a task, you can mark it as completed. A hint for you to do that would be you can add another field to your existing object. You can call it completed or something like that. And in the on-click function for your checkbox input, you need to, just like the delete button, you will have a checkbox input. And in the on-click function, you need to mark it as completed. And based on that, you can then render it.